Hi, welcome back to the Louise Janetta YouTube channel. I'm just continuing to do some experimental work on the pigment transfer and diffusion technique, and this video, and there was another one but it didn't film all the way, but I was trying to get a particular look to the result, and it's difficult because I haven't practiced it enough, don't really know all the responses that the substrates will produce, and I don't really know like how well you mix it or what sort of degree of pigment you use to get what effect. It's all very experimental at the moment, but I think it's really important that you see my mistakes as well, and you see perhaps even the process. It's a shame the other one didn't work. I don't think I've managed to film me taking off the templates, but in any case, this is about mistakes, it's about experimenting and learning the process, which is a huge amount of what I do. I'm a professional artist and I have developed a number of techniques that are very much my own unique techniques and styles, but at the same time I can't stop exploring because things lead to each other. So I have my lace tree pictures, which you might have seen. I have textured oils which stem from the lace tree pictures. Actually, it's the other way around. I did the textured oil first, but they're time consuming, laborious and expensive, and the paper lace tree ones were supposed to be a cheaper product. But at the same time, of course, papers, threads, textures all leads into a whole load of other things, including abstracts. So I'm really interested in aspects of painting and how paint and colour perform. I'm also really good at finding a really lovely compatible relationship between the result and the medium, between the medium and what can be done, and this process is a lot to do with that. It stems from everything I've done, including printing, because I've done a lot of colograph printings, which is again using textures and utilising the way an ink or a pigment performs under certain situations. In any case, I hope you enjoy. It's about colour, it's about experimenting, and it's about making mistakes, and that it doesn't matter, it's part of the process. It's difficult to throw things away when they haven't worked, and it's difficult not to be precious about everything, but it is really important. Some things are just for the sake of it, and they are a stepping stone onto something else. Okay, I hope you enjoy. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, and everybody, thanks so much for subscribing. It really helps, and for comments. I was going to say, if there's anything anybody wants me to cover, or to cover more fully, please let me know in the comments below. If you've been struggling doing this pigment transfer thing yourself, ask in the comments, and I might do an open forum where we can discuss things between us. Again, I haven't really utilised my YouTube channel very much. I have been just dumping loads of information on everybody. So if you want a bit more feedback, please don't hesitate to put stuff in the comments and I'll try and address them. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. I couldn't do the YouTube without you. All the best. Bye. Oh, hope you enjoyed the video. So I'm doing another experimental piece, mainly because I love this piece, and I'm just going to see if I can replicate this. Not the same picture, but the same method, how beautifully it worked. I've got a piece of paper stretched with gesso on it. I've sprayed it with water, and I've laid down cellophane patterns, and then I'm just going to drop in the inks and hope it goes underneath it as well. That's the plan. But I'll have to do this and then leave it to dry. It's difficult to know because You never know quite how much pigment you've got in it, and you never know how much it's going to quite take. There's a piece underneath it, and I was just seeing what it did, you know, around the edges of it. You see there's these lovely bubbles in it, which I don't really mind. You can get them out. Once they're stuck down on the paper, they're actually quite difficult to move. I've been a bit cautious about the colour this time. I'm not going to be. Now you can leave these splodges on, or you can take them off. I've got a dark brown and more of a yellow. Oh yeah, I love that like yellow ochre. Some more of that. Pushing around the edges. I suppose I do want the orange again. I've got some dark brown. I'm going to try some of that instead of the blue. That one. Oh, and there's this one. Just exactly what I do want to leave behind and what I don't. And what am I going to have on this? It's going to be blue. Just not sure I've got enough pigment on these. I think it's too watery. And do you leave the bits that are running out, or do you mop them up? I do actually want a dark blue, and I haven't got one mixed. It is very difficult to tell on the outset exactly what you want. Like, so there's my dark blue. I'm just going to put a bit of water in it and a bit of medium, matte medium. I just didn't want it to go too much like the last colouring. It could almost do with some black in it, couldn't it? I think I've got that too watery. This side, I think. And down onto this one too. And then in there, some brown going right. This one isn't covered enough. There's not enough pigment in it. I like the blobs in it. I love these bubbles that occur, so I want to see what happens with them. And I love it when it mixes, you know, when the pigment dissolves into each other. Push it along, see what happens. It's more blue in here. I want this more intense around here too. I'm worried my light blue is going to be too insipid because I haven't got enough pigment in there. So I'm going to lift it up a bit. Which is a bit of a shame, but still, we'll see what happens. And then I want the edges to happen a bit. It's not actually fully taken either. I didn't want it to be too dissolved. I like quite intense colours. I love the way that it's all done this, but I don't know how intense that'll be. And see, these bits are nice where it just blobs slightly. So like I said, it's, do you take it away or do you leave it? I've got a blending brush here. I'll just see what happens if I move it around a bit without actually taking it off, because I want some on there. I think then it's a question of just leaving it be, isn't it? Letting it do what it's going to do. Right, come over first thing in the morning, hoping this isn't too dry, but I think it is. I think it's all dried. What a shame. So I haven't got the result I wanted. Whoops, and that's pulled off the edge with the pigment. I had to paint that. I wanted it more like the last time when I took it off when it was still wet, it had a nicer effect. It didn't do this pigment separation thing where it goes in blobs. I don't quite know why that is. So let's experiment and find out, isn't it? I mean, there's a number of things I really like about this. I love the marks around the edges of things. Yeah, I think I must have. Yeah, you see, that's what I want, where it hasn't dried properly. So, and it's because I did it yesterday evening, and then left it overnight. I should have come over at about 11 o'clock and lifted this. So I'm going to do it again and build on these colours and try and get that sort of result more. But I mean, overall it's a nice thing. They're lovely, lovely marks. Okay, so that's how the first one came out, and there was a sort of definite graininess because the pigment had dried underneath the plastic sheets, and they sort of collect in the grain of the gesso. I mean, I did really like it. I think it's got some really nice effects, and I think what's really interesting as well is the colour. You know, when you start thinking about colours, right, this was on a piece of gessoed paper and that's got a grain on it, but this one I took the pieces of cellophane off before they had dried, and it's this thing where you think about colour, you know, just what it is that you want to get out of colour and what you are trying to say. And sadly there's a great deal of fashion about colour, which is another thing which is very annoying, but there is. And I mean, I love colour. I love the way things happen with colour. I don't know if you can see that. And I like exploring it and seeing how it reacts to each other and the things it says to each other. So colour is a difficult one. Do you just go fashionable, greys, reds, blacks, blues, or do you explore and play and allow other people to be influenced by your exploration? And how else do things change if you don't reconsider expectations and suppositions? Look, this is what I like. Is before it dries enough to go tacky and still has that lovely liquid look of it. That's what I like. It seems like it's transferred enough over to the paper in this method that it has, but it's still retaining some of its, you know, very, you know, it hasn't gone like that. This is the one that I like. Maybe it's too different. Maybe there's just, you know, the point at which you do it is too tricky. Then you take that off. And that's got that horrible mark. Infuriating. I did it by mistake last time. Yeah, you see, that is what I really don't like. But I'm going to go with it this time. You know, you actually have to let it take it off quite a while before it dries, and trust yourself to take it off sort of while the pigment is still there. Oh, and it's interesting how much you can sort of play with it at this point. Because I mean, even that's nice. Those funny marks are nice. They look like they're part of it, and they're not. Oh, it's not so bad. It might make lovely paper for an actual collage. Okay, sorry about that.